Welcome, everybody. I'm Lisa Ornstein, and I welcome you to our 2021 all-member meeting on behalf of Steering Committee and Leadership Team. For the accessibility and convenience of the audience, we will be recording this meeting and providing closed captioning. We are so jazzed to be with you tonight. Our program was going to open up with a guest appearance by LD22 Representative Jessica Bateman. But as you may have heard, she is hard at work right now in a special session. Rory will be back a little bit later on to give us an update. So we're going to start out with a look at 2020 and what's at stake now. Following that, we'll roll out Olympia Indivisible's vision for 2021 and do some virtual tabling for teams who are currently recruiting. But before we get started, we've got a few preliminaries. So here's co-founder Carla with some introductions.
Hello, everyone. Well, excuse me. I just first like to introduce you to the Olympia Indivisible Steering Committee. And those members are Kelly Bohansky.
Hi.
Lisa Ornstein.
Hello again.
Andrew Ryan.
Good evening.
Sherry Silverman. Rory Summerson.
Hi, everyone.
Who created that wonderful video we just saw. Thank you, Rory. That was great. And me, Carla Wolfsburg. So that's our leadership. And Olympia Indivisible is a team-powered organization. Each team has leadership, either a team lead or a team co-lead. And here are the folks who are currently serving as our team leads or team co-leads. So you're going to see a list of names come up here, and underneath each person's name is the team that they are the lead or co-lead for. And that would be Kelly Bohansky, Joni Brill, Lisa Cezanne, Sherry Silverman, Steve Sifka and Bill Twite, Rory Summerson and Cody Gaddis, Sharon Herting, Melinda Holman, John Hooper, Lisa Ornstein, Andrew Ryan and Gideon Newmark, Helen Wheatley, and me, Carla Wolfsburg. So now I would like to turn it over to Andrew Ryan.
Thank you, Carla, and thank you all for being here tonight. It's a pleasure to talk to you all. We're going to start out tonight with a land acknowledgement. So we honor the sovereignty of the Nisqually, Puyallup, Squaxin, and the Chehalis tribes. These tribes have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of Thurston County since time immemorial. We make this acknowledgement to open a space of recognition, inclusion, and respect. As you may have noticed, most of you have been muted. We ask that you keep yourself muted until we open the floor up for discussions later in the meeting. If you need any assistance, especially tech help, you can message me and I'll help you in the chat. For those of you on the phone, if we have anyone, to talk later, use *6 to unmute. I'll repeat this at some later time before we get into discussions. Now, let's talk about some general expectations and behaviors for tonight. Olympia Indivisible believes that broad civic engagement in the democratic process is essential for the survival of a true democracy. In achieving our mission, we are going to model the values of forbearance, inclusion, tolerance, truth, and fairness. To meet these beliefs and to provide the inclusive community that our members expect, we ask that you follow our guidelines. Please keep your questions and comments polite and respectful. Practice skillful speech by listening to others to understand their ideas and beliefs and not to react to them. Practice skillful listening. Use the one microphone rule and only talk when you've been asked to and after you've raised your hand. Use a digital hand raising tool if possible, or your real hand if necessary. will not permit any personal attacks. OI believes in a democracy of ideas, and personal attacks do not fit into a healthy sharing of these ideas. So please practice respect for others. Olympia Indivisible is a community, and we need to treat each other so that our community is safe, welcoming, and helpful for all of our fellow neighbors. Thank you all so much. I'm now going to turn it over to Sherry Silverman.
Hi, everybody. And I am Sherry. I was muted before when we were all waving hello, so here I am. I'm Sherry. And you all had some very interesting answers for icebreakers tonight. One of the ones that started out with is what brings you here tonight? Excellent answers. Tina Finau said, I hope to learn as much as possible. And Tina, you're in the right place. You definitely will. And Liz Langhan said she's interested in learning what this group is working on. And you will also find out the answers to those questions. And for what's the work that you'd like to see, what you want to see uplift democracy in 2021? Well, I think that Dick and Kathleen Wright put down something that encapsulates what a lot of us want, and they are most committed to protecting and expanding voting rights. That's something I think we can all agree needs doing. And then we asked, what's your favorite quote these days? We had a whole bunch of really good answers. I'm going to run through a few of them. Tracy Carlos said, if your right to speak oppresses another, you have no right to speak. And Pam Pride has a quote from Howard Zinn. Democracy is not about what governments do. Democracy is about what people do. And I think my favorite here, though, is from Bill Twite. He said his favorite quote recently is from William Crystal. Yes, that William Crystal. And William Crystal said, I'm working within the Democratic Party now. Okay, and thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce Rory Summerson.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rory Summerson. And as you heard, we were going to do a legislative update with Jessica Bateman. Unfortunately, well, I actually shouldn't say that. She is working hard for us in the legislature. So actually, I'm quite happy she couldn't be here. At this point in time, I was going to do this huge, long speech and introduction about Jess, but I think her not being with us so that she can work on good cause legislation is amazing. So if you weren't sure, good cause legislation was introduced by Macri, and so that basically what we had in place was under current Washington law, a residential landlord could evict a tenant for any reason or no reason at all. By issuing a month-to-month notice to tenants for no cause termination and refusing to renew the lease with that tenant. So basically what had happened was then that Nicole Macri, a Democrat out of Seattle, introduced new renter protections. That new legislation was pretty basic. All it sought to do was to improve landlord-tenant relations by requiring that landlords simply cite a reason to move someone out of a home. So at this point, that is what Jessica is going to be doing on the floor right now. So that's why she can't be with us. But, I want to tell you a little bit about what I thought it was really great to have that opportunity with Jess. Obviously, it's really, really important that people are involved. And we wanted people to have an opportunity to ask questions and get them answered. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat now. And we will get those emailed over to Jessica Bateman. We will get responses for those questions, and we will be providing those answers to our membership. So we didn't want you to feel as though you missed the opportunity to interface with your legislature, okay? But in addition, I did kind of want to go over a little bit of the script items I had for Jess because she is an amazing representative and she's serving us so well, right? So I was really grateful for the opportunity to introduce Jess because I've worked with her in the past. I've done a couple of interviews with her. She's a lot of fun, very personable. But what was really great about Jess for me, the thing that really kind of made me see her in a new light was the idea that she was raised by a single mother, right? So I was raised by, for the majority of my life, by a single mother. So I really understand that dynamic. Jessica got an associate's degree from Green River College and moved to Olympia to attend Evergreen State College, earned a bachelor's of arts degree in environmental studies and master's of public policy. Jessica envisions an inclusive, equitable future for all who call the Pacific Northwest region home. And I have to say, I agree. Jessica has worked to create affordable housing. She's worked to assist struggling families and empower at-risk youth. Jessica also worked to pass a sanctuary city resolution in Olympia. very passionate advocate for accessible healthcare. And from 2012 to 2015, she was a legislative assistant in the House. In 2015 is when she was elected to the city council. Later, she served as mayor pro tem. Jessica defeated her Republican opponent in November, and that's why she is now our representative. She sits on three committees currently: the Healthcare and Wellness Committee as vice chair, the Housing, Human Services, and Veterans Committee, as well as the House Capital Budget Committee. So again, with that, if you had any questions that you wanted to throw over to our representative in the House, Jessica Bateman, I would be more than happy to ensure that those get over to her, and we will be providing those answers to our membership. So with that, I'm actually going to be turning it back over, and we're going to be heading over to Spotlight with Lisa.
Okie doke. Thank you so much, Rory. So it's great to be with you again. I just want to say how happy I am. It's a moment for all of us. My mind goes back to January of 2020, and here we are again. It's 2021. We won. Now let's get it done. That is Olympia Indivisible's motto for this year. But before we dive into how we're going to get it done, let's just take a moment and look back at what we accomplished in 2020 and what's at stake in 2021. And I can't help myself. I just want to give a big shout out to Rory Summerson for that amazing video. It was incredible. Yeah. So, we set off in 2020 with 4 goals in mind: take back the presidency, flip the US Senate, keep the US House, elect a new Democratic representative in CD10, and win key Thurston County elections and state legislation. So how do we do? We were incredibly successful. We totally met our top tier goals. We weren't able to push Beth Dolio over the finish line, but our second choice, Democrat Marilyn Strickland, won in CD10. Most of our endorsed Thurston County and legislative candidates won as well, and we saw 3 of the 6 state bills on our advocacy list get signed into law. So in 2020, Olympia Indivisible's 7 electoral teams just knocked it out of the park. And behind the scenes, their work was steadily, creatively supported and amplified by Comtech, Call to Action, membership, engagement, and education teams, and by Olympia Indivisible's steering committee. And meanwhile, Olympia Indivisible's environmental liaison continued critical work on building coalition and advocacy. And the members of Congress team did outreach and accountability with our congressional representatives. So, how did we do this? How did we achieve so much success? Teamwork and membership engagement. 175 Olympia Indivisible members showed up for our It's Up to Us all-member meeting in January 2020, and they signed up to get the work done. 17 teams with incredibly dedicated co-leads redesigned their work to make it operational in a COVID world. Collaboration and synergy between teams uplifted and leveraged the work that each team was doing. Hopefully, you have a sense of the scale and impact of that work from seeing Rory's 2020 Year in Review video as you came in tonight. And if you missed it, don't worry, we're going to show it again at the end of the meeting. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the many Olympia Indivisible members who donated financially in 2020. Now, some of these donations are off the record because many of you simply paid out of your pockets to buy what was needed to get the work done. So thank you for your generosity. To the many of you who donated a total of over $13,000 to Olympia Indivisible's general fund in 2020, thank you as well. We spent about $6,500 of that donations on operating expenses, we sent $1,000 to Indivisible National, and we passed along over $4,600 to Thurston County Food Bank. $6,500 is a pretty modest operating budget considering what we accomplished. Just for comparison's sake, Common Power's 2020 budget was $1.2 million. But here's my point. Olympia Indivisible is 100% grassroots volunteer powered. We may be a little bit scrappy, but we get the job done. We don't ask our members for treasure, we ask you for your time because our power is our engagement. So hey, let's take a second. Let's put our hands together for Olympia Indivisible's 2020. We may not be able to hear the applause, but we can see it and we can feel it. Yo! All right. Okay, let's move on to 2021. Early January, huge electoral successes and an insurrection at the Capitol. January 6th shook our democracy to its core, but nevertheless, we persisted, a nation bruised but whole, to witness an uplifting inauguration and the beginning of a federal democratic trifecta. So, what's at stake in 2021? Well, here in Thurston County and in Washington State, we have consequential races for the port and a raft of important bills moving through the state legislature. At the national level, an enormous reckoning faces us. Our fraying, deeply flawed democracy needs profound structural changes, not only to survive, but also to be more representative, inclusive, just, and resilient. We need bold policy changes to make healthcare more equitable, put the brakes on climate change, and address systemic racism and immigration reform. Phew! These challenges are great, and they're exponentially even greater because the Republican Party has chosen to embrace an ex-president whose sole agenda is the systemic undermining of democracy to consolidate power. We see this in the January 6th insurrection, the continuing support of the ex-president by congressional Republicans, and the explosion of voter suppression bills in state legislatures across the nation. 253 bills in 43 states at last count. We also know we are on a short timeline. We've got 18 months before midterm to demonstrate that the Biden-Harris administration and a Democratic majority Congress can make meaningful change. So the first thing that we can do in 2021 is avoid the mistakes that we made in 2009. That was the last time we had a federal Democratic trifecta. Obama and the Democratic Congress inherited a mess from the previous administration and came in promising bold reform. Obama sought bipartisan cooperation, while the Democrats in Congress moderated bills and strategies to avoid accusations of legislative overreach. But instead of success, these approaches simply resulted in legislation which failed to match the scale of the problems it was trying to solve. And congressional Republicans just delayed and obstructed, ignored the concessions, and branded the Democratic agenda as a big socialist power grab. On the citizen front, the widespread electoral engagement which swept Obama into power failed to translate into durable civic engagement. And a potent grassroots conservative backlash sprang up in the form of the Tea Party. And it grew like wildfire, and it made it incredibly painful for congressional Democrats to support the Obama agenda. And in 2010, Democrats got a midterm shellacking that lost them the House and ended any hope for pushing through their legislative agenda. Well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So let's embrace these 4 realities for 2021. Number 1, congressional Republicans are going to obstruct, they're going to delay, and they are going to engage in bad faith BS. Number 2, we already are experiencing backlash in Republican-held state legislatures and from Trumpist grassroots supporters. Number 3, to succeed, congressional Democrats must work with a sense of urgency and pass bold legislation that matches the scale of the crises we face. And finally, at a grassroots level, folks like us need to take our civic engagement and lean in. If I've learned anything in the last 4 years, it is that America's democracy hinges on the willingness of ordinary citizens like us to engage in its protection. The difference between 2016 and 2020 was about 2 things: civic engagement and mobilization. So each of us has a role to play, and we benefit by leaning in together, uplifting each other with friendship and community as we support the reforms, policies, candidates, and initiatives that make this nation better. Olympia Indivisible has a handle on how to mobilize. So let's look at how we can wield the constituent power and the fellowship we have built over the last 4 years to get it done in 2021. So let's get going. Here's Kelly Bohensky with a look at Olympia Indivisible's vision for 2021.
Thanks, Lisa. Tonight, I will be taking you through a quick overview of National Indivisible's 2021 vision, Olympia Indivisible's goals and objectives, as well as how you can join in and help with our important work right now. We just heard from Lisa, the time is now, and the window of opportunity is short. We need to make real progress and lasting change in less than 18 months. So let's get started. National Indivisible's vision for 2021 is to build an inclusive democracy by achieving long-lasting democracy reforms. In a few minutes, I will go over the broad strokes of 3 bills, HR 1, HR 54, HR 4, and HR 51. Taken together, these bills are known as structural democracy reform bills, and when passed, will form the foundation of real change. In addition, Indivisible has developed a pressure campaign strategy to get rid of the filibuster if Republicans start blocking. OI's vision at the federal level is we must strengthen our democracy by reforming and rebuilding our democratic institutions and strengthening our political checks and balances. Our strategic planning recognized a 2-year window of opportunity that we have to promote progressive legislation, fill judgeships, remove filibuster, expand the Supreme Court, reduce corporate influence, restore environmental protections, healthcare, and civil governance. How are we going to do this? Well, here are a few of our ideas. We need to build coalitions, educate and engage citizenry and future voters, reverse voter suppression, advocate with our members of Congress, build momentum for the 2022 midterm, support leadership and membership participation, and focus on key Washington state and county legislation and elections. By amplifying our advocacy work using new and existing partnerships, we can help get important bills passed in both bodies of Congress. Now let's briefly talk about HR 1, 4, and 51, because passing these three bills represents transformational legislation. We will not be satisfied with any single reform and will continue to press for structural changes necessary to rebalance the power for the people. HR 1 is known as the For the People Act and was originally passed in 2019 and recently passed the House again in 2021. The fight will be getting it passed in the Senate, currently set to go to committee on March 24th. A few key items that are included in the bill are getting big money out of politics by guaranteeing disclosure of large donors, empowering citizens, gives political power back to hardworking Americans by creating a robust matching system for small donations, strengthens oversight by ensuring there is a referee to enforce campaign finance law, and restructures the Federal Election Commission to break the gridlock, protects and strengthens the right to vote, improves access by expanding reach to the ballot box through countrywide automatic voter registration, ensures security by modernizing the US voting system. One example is voter verified paper ballots, and bans partisan gerrymandering. It establishes an anti-corruption measures to fix our broken system by fortifying ethic laws, reducing the power of lobbyists and increasing accountability, requires presidents to disclose their tax returns, and gives teeth to federal ethics oversight and creates a code of ethics for the US Supreme Court. HR 4 is known as the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act, and it will restore the voting rights that the Supreme Court took away in their 2013 ruling. And HR 51 is the bill that will grant statehood to long disenfranchised citizens of Washington, D.C. That's over 700,000 people. What is the filibuster? It is a simple procedure mechanism that allows the minority party to block legislation from advancing to the Senate, which requires 60 votes to advance legislation. The filibuster is inherently undemocratic, not required by the Constitution, has been used to kill landmark legislation from civil rights to gun violence protections and more. Eliminating the filibuster is a simple majority vote in the Senate and can be done at any time. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to enact bold structural reform, and we cannot let the filibuster stop us. You might all remember one project that we worked on last year to help people around the country vote safely. It was called the Advocacy Initiative and was created by our partner organization in Seattle, Common Power. This was such a phenomenally successful project, and we are teaming up with CP again. Common Power has joined a huge network of 192 organizations known as Declaration for American Democracy, or DFAD, that has collectively pledged to get this transformational legislation passed. What is this network of 192 organizations and counting? Some of the organizations that have signed on, you might already be familiar with, like National Indivisible, Common Power, Fair Vote, League of Women Voters, Sierra Club, Planned Parenthood, and so many more. They represent a diverse coalition from labor unions, environmental groups, faith groups, social justice and civil rights groups, and many others. DFAD will use a three-pronged approach. DFAD will use a three-pronged approach to work to move Congress members, policy proposals, lobbying, and grassroots pressure campaign. This is where our focus will be. We will be calling friendly, Democratic constituents in key target states to ask them to pressure their members of Congress to help pass transformational legislation, starting with H.R. 1. Now I'd like to talk briefly about what OI is doing at the state level. Take Action Network, or TAN, was developed by Fuse, the same organization that publishes the Progressive Voters Guide in Washington State. TAN is currently being used during our state legislative session, but this is just the introduction of the platform. This new powerful tool can help with all types of advocacy work, including legislative bills and actions. Our goal is to engage our membership in legislative advocacy by recruiting, training, and supporting members to use TAN to complete legislative actions, using this brand new platform to track, comment, and push progressive bills to become law. TAN understands Washington State Legislature, including who sits on which committees, where bills are in the legislative process, and when hearings are scheduled. Washington Indivisible Legislative Action, WILA, has chosen to use TAN for the 2021 legislative session. TAN is also where you can sign up to get calls to actions for what's happening in Thurston County and at the federal level. Come join us every Friday at 5 p.m. for TAN trainings through April. It is as easy as setting up a bill pay, but much more rewarding. Olympia Indivisible's vision at the county level is to help elect strongly progressive candidates for the Port of Olympia Commissioner positions in both District 2 and 3. These elections will take place this November. And the opportunities to get involved right now include, at the federal level, you can sign up for the Common Power to work on passing the For the People's Act, which starts with H.R. 1, but doesn't end there. And that's in partnership with the DFAD. At the state level, work to pass progressive state legislation during the current legislative session by learning TAN. Come join us Fridays at 5 for TAN trainings. Or at the county level, you can join the Port of Olympia Action Team, or POAT, or the Candidate Interface Team. Now, here is Carla to tell you more about our OI teams.
Thank you, Kelly. So, the way we achieve goals in Olympia Indivisible is primarily through team power. And teams continue to be the building blocks of our strategy in 2021. And our success relies both on the effectiveness of each team and on the synergy between teams. So right now there are 12 teams, an even dozen, in Olympia Indivisible, and 6 of them would like some additional team members. There is one team that would also like leadership. The leader of that team, the team lead, is stepping down, so that's one team that, of all of those 6, that would like some team leadership. So in a few minutes, we're going to ask you to join a team. But before we talk about those details, you're going to hear a short description of each of these teams that are recruiting, and you'll be thinking about which team you want to select. Then you will select the team that you believe is best aligned with your interests and that the work that you want to do and feel is most important this year. So, okay. Here are the 6 teams. We have, in alphabetical order, the Call to Action team. Now, the Call to Action team is a foundational team of OI. It began back in 2017, January 2017. And on a weekly basis since then, these folks have researched the news. They've determined the most critical issues of which OI members need to take action. And these team members write a brief background statement on the issues and a script for action. So actions might be at the federal level, to our members of Congress, or at the state level, or issues here in Thurston County. So a scripted call to action is sent to Olympia Indivisible members every Sunday. It's also posted on the OI website and the OI Facebook pages, and people all over look to our website for this call to action. So it's really important. Okay, next team. This is a team that has a new name, but it's not a new team. It's called the Candidate Interface Team. And the goal of this team is to actively help candidates who are endorsed by Olympia Indivisible get elected. So depending on the election cycle, candidates might be running for positions in Congressional District 10, Legislative District 22, in Thurston County, or at the Port of Olympia. And this year you've heard that there are two port commissioner races coming up. So the team members communicate directly with the campaigns. They coordinate their actions and they share information with other teams of Olympia Indivisible, within Indivisible groups in Washington State, and other groups that are endorsing the same candidates as we are. Okay, next team, members of Congress. This is another foundational team that began in 2017. The members of Congress team, known as the MOC team, meets regularly with our members of Congress in CD10. In most cases, they'll meet with the South Sound directors, at which time they discuss Olympia Indivisible's immediate issues of concern. So this team tracks the actions of our MOCs, holds them accountable for their voting and public statements, and reports to the call to action team the results so that this information might be included in a weekly call to action. Also, they alert OI members about upcoming town halls, public appearances of our members of Congress in CD10. Of course, we haven't had too many of those lately, but who knows. Next team. This is our membership team. Now, the membership team recruits new members, organizes a welcome for new members, which includes an orientation to OI. They offer new members details about how to get connected with the team, how to become an activist by doing weekly calls to action, and other advocacy opportunities. This team is creative. They help OI members to stay connected by organizing Zoom salons and group activities such as the annual picnic and other engagement activities. They also register new members to OI and maintain OI's membership database. Okay, next up is the Port of Olympia team, Port of Olympia Action Team, better known as POAT. Okay, so the Port of Olympia, the goal of this team is basically, it's laser focused on the Port of Olympia, and that is a government body known as a special purpose district with jurisdiction over the residents of Thurston County. The port is one of the biggest property owners in the county. It manages the marine terminal, Swantown Marina, the Olympia Airport, and a lot of other properties. So this team tracks and analyzes action taken by the port commissioners and their staff with the goal of holding them accountable to develop responsible fiscal policies for environmental stewardship and for implementing fairness, equity, and transparency in how they govern and how they interact with the public. So this year, the team will coordinate with other OI teams to support progressive candidates running for the two port commissioner races in District 2 and 3. All right, our last team, and this is Rallies and Marches. This is the team that is looking for leadership. And at the request of and in coordination with the Olympia Indivisible Steering Committee, this team organizes public rallies, marches, and related large public events. For media outreach to promote these events, they coordinate with the communications and technology team. And most importantly, this team does all the groundwork in preparation for large events, including planning all aspects of logistics, the venue, the equipment, the speaker, security, etc. So anyway, this is our last of 6 teams. Let's maybe have a look at all 6 of them again. All right. So now you've heard about the teams that are looking for new members and the one looking for some leadership as well, and have an idea now about the team that you'd like to join. So in a few minutes, you're going to be joining the team of your choice in a breakout room. And soon you'll get instructions how to do that. But for those of you tonight who don't wish to join the team, you'll just be staying right here with Kelly and Lisa, and you'll get an introduction to that amazing online platform, Take Action Network, or better known as TAN. Now, if you've called into this meeting on your phone, we're going to be sending you to a special phone breakout room where our hosts will assign you to where you'd like to go. If it's a team breakout room, they'll assign you there. Unfortunately, you're not able to do that on your phone. Okay, so now if at any time during this process you have any technical difficulty, simply open the chat room and type in "need tech support." So then you press return and your message will be sent to someone who will help you. Okay, now for those of you who like to join a team, in a few minutes there's going to be a little icon that's going to appear at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you're on an iPad, it'll appear in the upper left-hand corner. And we're not going to see it, but we're going to see a screen right now that's going to show you what it's going to look like. This is just a photo of what it's going to look like. Okay, so that red arrow at the bottom is pointing to the icon that says breakout rooms, and the blue is going to be pointing to either the word join on the right, or it might have a 0. It depends. Every computer is a little bit different. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that breakout room icon. This is going to pop up, and you're going to see a list of all those teams. You'll even see the tech help selection, and you're going to scroll to the team that you would like to visit and go to the right, and you'll join, and magically you will be transported to that room. If at any time you would like to go visit another room, you just go back to that breakout room icon at the bottom and go to this screen and then select the team that you would like to go to. All right, so we're going to have 15 minutes in the breakout room. And remember, if you're having any trouble, open the chat box and type in need tech support. All right, so now it's coming.
And for those of you who are staying in the main room, then Lisa and I will be doing a little intro and some training on TAN, the Take Action Network. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Hello. For those of you who have stayed with us, so good to be with you again. I'm Lisa Ornstein. I'm a co-founder of Olympia Indivisible, and along with Kelly, we are the co-leads of the state and county legislative team. And I am also an official cheerleader for Take Action Network. That's TAN for short. And I don't know if you can see my pom-poms. I don't know if you can see my megaphone, but you know, they're there, at least in my heart, because I am so jazzed about how powerful a tool Take Action Network represents for those of us who care about the laws and policies that are happening here in the state of Washington. So Take Action Network has made my life as a legislative advocate incredibly easy. I sit down with my cup of coffee in the morning and I open up my email from Take Action Network, and in the time it takes me to have my coffee, I can take a raft of actions. I think I'm in the time that before Take Action Network, I was lucky if I could get one action done. So it's an amazing tool, really, really swift, easy to use. And we've got a whole training module set up to help you. So I'm going to turn things over to Kelly. She's our lead educator for Take Action Network. So I'm going to toss it to Kelly here.
Okay, so we're going to do this just a little bit different because when I do the trainings on Friday evenings, we have quite a bit more time to get it done. So we're just trying to give you an intro and a little, just a flavor of it so that hopefully you'll come join us this Friday at 5 p.m. and learn what it's all about. So, okay, so Take Action Network, it was created by Fuse, who is the same organization that puts out the Progressive Voters Guide. And WILA, as I said earlier, has chosen, which is the Washington Indivisible Legislative Action, has chosen to use TAN for the 2021 legislative session. Using the TAN platform provides a simplified process to help groups across the state when tracking and affecting legislation that matters to them. Over the next, and this is just a quick little picture, and we can actually go into TAN to see the committee information as well. But this just gives you a little bit of understanding about what you will see as far as who's on the committee. In the highlighted pink, it would be your state legislator. Unfortunately, mine is Tim Sheldon. I'm in the 35th. The light green is the prime sponsor, and green is the bell sponsors. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But if you were taking the training, we would be dropping links in to get you signed up. We're not going to do that piece right now, but ComTech is going to be dropping in links to be able to join the training and get you signed up for that. So I'm going to actually stop sharing right here and jump into TAN and go from, there we go. So this is known, so once you sign up and you come back in, what you'll see is something called the dashboard. And what I'm going to do in this brief overview is take you through these tabs on the left-hand side and just give you a little bit more familiarization about the project. So the first thing, the first tab I want to go into is the tab called My Info, and it's and then you click on Profile. The profile is where you will need to enter your address, including your zip code, where you're registered to vote, or your legislative and congressional districts. By filling in the information, your elected officials will be filled in as well. This makes taking actions quick and easy, as only actions relevant to your elected officials will be shown to you, and your contact scripts are pre-filled with the correct information. The important note is the more information you set up in your profile, the better the autofill will be when you're using one-click email scripts, which we'll be going over shortly. The preference on My Email gives you the ability to choose, just by clicking on these checkboxes, if you want a personal daily dashboard sent to your email, or if you want to be emailed about major features or results of actions that you participated in, that's especially fun. But if you're not, for whatever reason, you don't want that, it's just as simple as unchecking that box. So you get to really customize this system the way it works best for you. The other thing I want to make sure that we go over, even in this limited time, is something called the Favorites tab, and it's also over on the left. The three types of favorites, as you can see, are organizations, actions, and take that down a little bit, and primary issues. After you fill in the profile page, you can customize further by choosing your favorite organizations, actions, and issues. You can add and delete. So if you didn't want one of these to be your favorite organization, again, it's as simple as checking, just clicking on that X and it goes away. But as you drop down, there is just a ton of information, organizations that you can put in your favorites. So it's all up to you and what you want to follow. But that's that. I just wanted to show you that quickly. You can add and in the My Favorite Actions, You can add all different kinds of actions as well. So I encourage you to look at that in the drop-down box and see. But one of the ones that I just want to point out quickly is it's called Sign In for Legislative Hearings. This, you want to make sure you have this in your favorites if you want to be able to sign in pro or con on legislative actions. So I'm going to click on that. Did it go to my?
It did. Yes.
Okay, good. So this is an action I've already done, but I just want to, I can just show you. Here is one where it says, sign in for a legislative hearing in support of averting climate catastrophe. That was one of my issues that I felt that I wanted in my favorites because it's something I feel strongly about. So clicking on the action, you'll see, now Lisa, you tell me if it doesn't transfer over, okay? You've got to
Okay, I will.
Okay, so here, if you click, what you're going to get is you're going to get right to the Washington State Legislature for you to be able to voice your opinion. So for me, you can do pro or con, and then all of this information really is auto-filled and as your profile it gets more, has more information in it. So you can see how quick and easy it was for me to just click on that and then go and then do my action. All you do is hit the checkbox here and hit submit, and you've made your pro or con, depending on what your choice was for that legislative action. So it's very, very powerful. Now, how do I get back out of this?
If you go to the top of your screen and you hit X next to the Washington State Legislature, I think it'll close out of there.
Okay.
Very good. Now you should be back.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go back one more.
Yeah.
And then we should be, one more. And then we should be back to our favorites. I just wanted to show you that quickly because I just love that feature. So thank you for bearing with me. But you can, so you can look down at all the primary issue choices again in the drop-down box and choose what makes sense for you. If ending gun violence is your primary issue, make sure it's included in your favorites, because the way that the favorites work, and we also recommend putting Olympia Indivisible and Washington Indivisible, the WILA, under your favorite organization.
Kelly, excuse me a minute, Kelly. This is a 2-minute warning.
Oh, it is?
Yes, exactly. Time goes quickly.
Gosh. Okay, well, come join us on Fridays at 5, and we'll get into the thick of it. We've got email responses that come back to you and let you know how many other pros or cons were supporting your position. It's just a really wonderful system, and I wish I had time to take you through a few more things, but unfortunately, we're out of time. The key thing on the dashboard, though, is that you will get up to 10 suggested actions and events that match your interests based on what you set up in your favorites. All of those various actions are competing to appear in your suggested actions, and your favorites are the ones that control which ones win. So that's an important point to remember when you're thinking about this. But
and
again,
Kelly, I'm just going to jump in to let you all know that you do not have to come every Friday.
No.
You can, if you're a hacker, if you like to just get in and swim around, visit our website, and we actually have the sign up link in the education toolbox for Take Action Network, but we're there to support you 5 to 6 p.m. every Friday evening for a TAN 101. So you can register, and I believe that the link has already been dropped in the chat room right now, and we'll drop it again at the end of the meeting as well. And you can also find it on our website. So we'd love to have you in there, because the more of us who are action takers, the more action is going to be taken at the legislature, and the more action is going to be taken as well, not only in the legislature, but we have calls to action at the federal level that are appearing as well. You can really tailor it so that you get exactly what you want to see. So we hope that we'll see you on a Friday. Next one is this coming Friday, or that just sign up and swim around.
Yeah, and if they want to just sign up and swim around, then come back on Friday for any questions that they might have in that first couple minutes. We always dedicate the first couple minutes to those, so you don't have to sit through the whole training if you are not interested in doing that.
Very good. Yes, and one last thing, I just want to say that we always include how a bill becomes law as part of our training, and Madeline Bishop does that, and she's extremely effective. You'll learn, like, she's got it down to about 2 minutes, and you'll know what you need to know to be a great legislative action taker.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
I think we're out of time. I think people are starting to come back. So
Very good.
Perfect. Okay,
Thanks,
I'll
Carla.
stop here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And there we go.
Very good. Thanks, Kelly.
You bet.
We're on it.
You're all back. Oh, well, welcome back, everybody. Hope you've had a good time to visit with your team. So now that we're all back together, it's really time to hear from each team lead or co-leads who are in those breakout rooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call your name in alphabetical order. And what I'd like you to do for all of our benefit is to take 1 minute, that's just 1 minute, to tell us if your team needs more members, and also the action or actions that your team or team members are going to take this next week by March 13th. Okay, so in alphabetical order, we're going to start with the call to action team. That would be Bill Twite.
Good evening, everybody. Well, our group was small, and I apparently grabbed the wrong port key or something. So it took a little while to get all squared away. But our group was a small group, and so yes, we still need additional members. So please contact me if you are interested. We will be meeting this coming week, as we do every week. Right now it's Sundays at 10, and we think we'll stick with that. And right now that's all via Zoom. And sifting through the ideas that have come forward that where OI members can make a difference this coming week. There's always something going on along those lines where there's an opportunity to make a difference. And that's our primary focus, is if it's actionable, if it fits with the Olympia Indivisible priorities and the National Indivisible priorities, and if we can distill it into a sort of a punchy message, if we can put it into something where individual members can then take it and put it in their own words and let their members of Congress, or sometimes others, know what they're thinking. My guess is that this coming week we'll focus on the filibuster, because it's becoming more and more clear that if we're going to get important legislation like HR 1 through, it's going to have to be majority rules, not minority oppresses. And also events in Olympia. In particular, it sounds like ranked choice voting is potentially starting to stall. And I think for everybody who's been tracking voting reforms at the state level, ranked choice voting is one of the more promising ones. Those are the kinds of things we'll be talking about on Sunday at 10. Please join us.
Great. And just to, this goes for all the teams. Anyone can join a team just by going to the Olympia Indivisible website. There, if you go under About, you go scroll down and it'll say OI Teams, and you can choose a team right there. That's another really easy way to do it. So have coffee with Bill this Sunday. Next team up is, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Next team up is the Candidate Interface Team, better known as KIT and Rory. Are you there? Yay.
I am. Hi, Carla. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So Kit had 4 members in attendance in the meeting today. We do want more members. As you can imagine, as the campaign cycle, kind of moves along, we're going to need more and more bodies to get the work done. So definitely sign up for Kit if you're interested. Again, you can access our signups on the website under the team section. If that's easiest for you to do, you go right ahead and do that, and Comtech will get that information over to our team. The one thing that I did ask our team to do starting out was just to sign up for communications. We've got a meeting coming up it's the 3rd Friday of every month is when we meet as our official monthly meeting. But again, as the cycle progresses, we will have more meetings as needed and start meeting more regularly to move candidates forward and to advocate for their events and stuff within our membership. And so that's the one thing that I would say is that, look for our team to be continually expanding and improving, with that contact information, and we're going to be able to start really building out a communications network. And so that's really what our first action is. So thank you so much, and please join KIT.
Thank you, Rory. So our next team would be Sherry Silverman, who's the lead for the membership team.
Hi. Well, membership team could use more members. We could use you. We are the fun team. You want to come join us. Everybody wants to have fun. We're the one who do the activities. We're the one who meet people. We're the one who bring in new members. We meet on the 4th Tuesday of every month. So our next meeting is coming up on the 23rd. But again, as everyone said, if you want to join us, you can go to the website and join us. And also let me say something like this. You do not have to be on membership exclusively. Every single person on the membership team is also doing something else in OI. Membership can be a little episodic, so you can be on something else and be on membership. So please don't think that if you're on membership, it's to the exclusion of anything else. And again, if you're creative, if you want to have fun, if you want to meet people, come join membership, come join us. Thank you.
Did you have, Sherry, did you have an action that you were going to take this week?
The action we're going to take week is that people are going to look at the website and just get an idea of what's happening with the membership team. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So next up is our members of Congress team, MOC, and Joni Brill is the team lead. Joni. Hi, Joni.
Yeah, hi. So we had a good turnout at the members of Congress team, and our action is that we already have a meeting scheduled for Monday morning. So yeah, and which is a good thing too, because there's so much involved and we barely got a chance to let people know what we're doing on this team so we can give them a better idea Monday morning.
Does your team need more members, Joni? Does the MOC?
Well, we had 4 people show up today, and I think that that's a comfortable number to add. We've got we've got a good core of active members, so I'm happy with the number, frankly.
Great. Thank you. Well, what about the Port of Olympia Action Team? POT, Helen Wheatley.
Hello, everyone. So we always are happy to welcome more members. If Sherry's team is the fun team, maybe we're a little bit the wonky team. I don't know. But we're also the very locally engaged team. And so the first thing that we're asking people on our team to do is to take a look at the Port website, because there's a little bit of a learning curve about this special purpose district. So that's one thing that we invite people to do. And then we too are having a meeting this week on Friday at 4 o'clock. And so that is the big action, is coming to the meeting and learning more.
Okay, thank you, Helen. And our last team is Rallies and Marches, and that would be Melanie Boots, who's standing in as the team coordinator here. Melanie, take it away.
Hi, well, we marches and rallies, it's struggles with getting people, and we're still struggling. I can't imagine why, because I think this would definitely be the way most fun team competition with that, but I can't, it was great. We did have, Pam was there, Pam Green was there, so she isn't part of the team, but she'll pass on, she'll be able to continue with a couple of things that were said and mentioned there. There were just 4 of us all together, and we did have also a guest, Haley Short from Portland, Oregon, and she gave some suggestions on how to get more younger people involved, and maybe just getting more members involved in this particular team. So Rallies and Marches did not have doesn't have any homework to do, because Garrett's also going to be a part of the team and do photography and what have you. So we are, just still need more people. So no homework, but I don't know, guys, we're gonna have to work on that one.
Well, we've been in lockdown and it's going to end. And in the past, we had large rallies and marches down at the steps of the legislative building. It's going to happen again. And we do need coordination for all of that. It was really wonderful when it happened, because we were also energized with one another being there. So that will happen again. So thank you, Melanie. So you've heard now which teams need new members and leadership. And if you'd like to join one, there should be a link in the chat room. And of course, you can go to the OI website under About. And if you've expressed an interest in the Take Action Network TAN, you can go to the chat room and sign up for TAN, or you can do it right on the OI website every Friday at 5. And I think it's going to run every Friday at 5 through April. Is that correct, Kelly?
Yes, it is.
Legislative session. Okay, good. So you can also find out about the actions of our partner, Common Power, up in Seattle, and there should be a link in the chat room for that too. So thank you, all of our team leads, team members, old and new, and to all of you who have expressed interest in TAN. Congratulations, and we hope you'll have plenty of exciting moments in the months ahead and make good friends in your new team. And that's what really Olympia Indivisible, I think, makes it. We come for the work and we stay for the fellowship. So, Lisa, let's see. I think you're going to take it away.
All right. Okay. So thank you, Carla. Okay. Well, look, everybody, thank you for carving out time to be with us tonight. It's been great to be with you. And I just want to say, for the TAN training folks, I totally forgot. I was wondering, where is everybody? And then I realized after the fact that I never pressed the gallery view. So if you were reaching out or saying hello or raising your hand or something, I apologize because I didn't see it, but you can get in touch with me after the fact. So I'll send you a cookie. But I really especially want to thank everybody. And we're going to be wrapping up. But before we do, I want to make a quick plug for an upcoming event. Speaking of cookies, because Cookies and Conversations is back. This is an informal conversation group, and that has been going in Olympia Indivisible really since, it's probably close to 4 years now. It's a pop-up group, so topic comes up, you get to sign up if it interests you. And we're going to inaugurate in 2021 with a discussion on the extremely timely topic of progress and pushback. And that is going to take place on Wednesday, March 10, 7 p.m. on Zoom. And I'm going to drop a link in the chat room right now for you to find out more and sign up. But I can tell you that it's on the basis of Common Power's magnificent David Donkey's recent lectures on this very subject. They're wonderful, and it's going to be a great evening. So please do join us. These conversations are informal and engaging. So I want to thank you all for showing up and engaging. And I want to give a huge shout out to steering committee and leadership team for their work on Olympia Indivisible's 2021 strategic planning. We started in April. It's been not April, in July. It's been a process. It felt like April. I also want to send out big old kudos to Rory Summerson for that amazing video about 2020, which we're going to show as y'all go out the door. And I also want to give a huge thanks to ComTech. They've been our logistical wizards, whisking you off to breakout rooms and getting the slides up and letting you in the door and all of that, putting stuff in the chat room, helping out. So thank you so much, ComTech. We couldn't do it without you. So folks, look, if you miss going to the gym, I want you to remember that Olympia Indivisible has the best exercise class in town, because we are flexing our collective muscle to strengthen our democracy right here in Thurston County, across Washington, and throughout the nation. We do this because of our commitment to justice past, justice present, and justice future, and we do it together as community. So let's say this together, and let's say it like we mean it. Here's what we're going to say. It's 2021. We won. Now let's get it done. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. It's 2021.
We won. Let's get it done.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. And to send you home, here's a quick look back in the rear view mirror, a glance at what we did in 2021. Good night and thank you.